what got me working for myself? It was so long ago. We all have our either running away from something or running towards something. We're either running away from a childhood that was not so great, or we want to run towards something that's bigger and better. And sometimes it's both. You run away and then you run towards.
Right.
If I look back, it was running away from watching my parents struggle so much. My dad worked a couple of jobs and was in a collision shop and auto sales, and thank God he taught me some great lessons, but worked so hard and had headaches from painting cars, and I was like, that just didn't look right. My mom and dad were split. My mom worked 3 jobs to make about $90 a week. She cut hair, she cleaned houses, did lots of miscellaneous jobs, and I just remember them working for other people and doing things, not having money and not being happy. It's easier to reflect. I'm 53 years old. I can look back now and analyze with emotional intelligence. You don't have emotional intelligence when you're a kid. You just go, I don't want that life.
Well, that's just the way it was. But you had the recognition though at a young age to recognize you didn't want that.
Exactly. Really good point. Like, I didn't know there was a better way, and then also the combination of knowing I didn't want what my parents had, and being young and dumb, and the world didn't tell you no enough, and I just thought I could.
Right.
Like, that's a gift. Don't you wish you could give more people of just being naive? Like, don't listen to the no. Like, just go for it.
Well, before the childhood innocence is programmed out of you.
Yeah, that's a really great way to put it. Before it's programmed out. So before my childhood innocence was programmed out of me, I remember just wanting to be successful to retire my mom. Like, we all need a muse. That was my gig. My dad, he could handle himself. My mom, man, she worked her tail off. She's the sweetest woman, still to this day. She's alive, fortunately, and she's the sweetest woman, but just worked so hard to come home at 9 o'clock at night, completely exhausted. And I just wanted to take care of her. So I don't share this a lot, but the reason I probably wanted to do my own thing, not probably, is because I wanted to take care of her.
Yeah.
And I wasn't that smart in school. I had dyslexia, so I struggled really hard with reading. I wasn't diagnosed with dyslexia until I was older. I just know school wasn't matching for me. Wasn't working for me, and I just decided I got to do my own thing. So at 16, I started cutting firewood. 15, 16, I started cutting firewood while I was figuring out how to work on cars.
Yeah.
By the time I was 17, I had a firewood business. By the time I was 18, I got my first no money down real estate deal just by knocking on 1 million doors. Desperation is one hell of a motivator, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I got my first real estate deal, second real estate deal, started getting apartments. So it wasn't like I wasn't like I was in a job. I've never worked for anybody in my entire life. So it wasn't like I was in a job and said, and that's a lot of people's stories, like, this, enough of this, somebody else is owning my time.
Right.
I just never went down that path. I started with cars and then real estate, and ended up owning about 20 apartments, and that helped get me in my first, I bought some raw land, I subdivided, sold some of the lots, then built houses. Then I started a housing company. I was building houses and flipping so had apartments and
well, what's interesting, you were talking about, like, the school wasn't the best option for you, and you had dyslexia, and one of those things that we look back at it now is like, man, how did we miss it? So many people weren't diagnosed properly, but some of the most successful people alive is because they have dyslexia.
I know.
Right? You got Richard Branson, you got Steven Spielberg, people that school wasn't an option. I need to figure out a way to make things work, and so they were forced into working for themselves or working, in a way. It's a
really good point. I never looked at it. I really was forced in because I was probably not hireable, right? I didn't have a degree, didn't come from a good pedigree, right? Like, so I had to figure it out.